Welcome. You're watching Money 9, India's first multilingual platform for personal finance from TV9 News Network. I'm Sakshi Batra, and here's wishing all our viewers a very happy Independence Day. Well, as India celebrates 75th Independence Day, let's rewind, learn, and relearn about financial freedom and what it really takes to make you financially stable and self-sufficient. On this Independence Day special edition of Kaise Bachaye, Kaise Badhaye, like always, we will catch up with entrepreneurs in the fintech space that are doing just that, helping you save, invest, and grow your money to live your life goals. On the show today, I will be interacting with a very special guest. I have with me Hena Mehta, who's the co-founder of Basis, which is a financial platform designed to simplify finances for the modern Indian women of today on this edition of Kaise Bachaye, Kaise Badhaye. Welcome, Hena, and thank you very much for taking our time for this important discussion on this very, very celebratory occasion of Independence Day, and wish you a very happy Independence Day as well.
Happy Independence Day, Sakshi. Thank you for having me here today.
It's great to have you with us. Let me just kickstart by asking you about, financial freedom, which fits the occasion, right? Of course, we've moved on from freedom to now talking about financial freedom. Help us with your idea of what do you think is financial freedom. Now, different people say different things when they define financial freedom. Some say it's about getting rich quickly. The others believe that it is being able to buy what you want, do what you want with no debt obligations. What's your idea?
Yeah, so financial freedom, financial independence, to me just means, the power of money is that it enables you to think of things other than money, right? So when you get to that point, that to me is true financial independence, and in a lot of ways. When we're speaking about independence and, a very apt theme for today as well, you can't truly be independent without being financially independent, right? As soon as there's a dependency on someone, or you have, situations where money becomes a cause of stress, or the money is determining, what you're doing, why you're doing it, then that doesn't make you truly independent. And so these are my ideas of what it means to truly be financially free. You don't have to be rich. All of that is very subjective. But as long as, money doesn't become the cause for stress, money doesn't become the factor that's really determining various actions in your life.
Right. I'm sure, at the opening comments, you've set the tone right about talking on this topic. We are also going to be talking specifically on women because your platform basis is, caters to women especially. Help, the women viewers of ours to really understand while we talk about financial freedom, to take a step back and to also think and understand why is it even important to do so in the first place, and how difficult is that to achieve. We always talk about that, you must retire early, with new Bollywood movies coming up, like Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, they have been talking about, I want to earn first and, make money as much as I can, so that at the age of 40 I am free to do what I wish to. Is that the right idea to go about financial freedom?
So it depends, right? That may be the best idea for some people. But in terms of why is it so important, especially for women, to take control of our finances, right? Like if you look at women's lives, starting with the income we may be earning, there are issues like the gender pay gap that exists in the workplace, right? Where women for the same job are earning anywhere between 25 to 30% less than their male counterparts. Women also may tend to take more career breaks. Women actually, over the course of our lives, our healthcare, personal care costs are a lot higher. And you mentioned retirement. Actually, we need to plan for longer retirements because we tend to outlive our male peers, right? In India, women tend to outlive their male peers by about 4 to 5 years. So not only do we earn less, it costs more to be a woman, and we need that money to last us longer. So it's all the more important for us to get these things in place as early as possible. At Basis, we never say it's too late or it's too early. There's, the time is now. Get started, take control, have that autonomy over your money and that independence on what you choose to do with it. And that's why it's so critical. And it's great. You mentioned Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara. And I think just yesterday, the makers of that film announced, a cast of all three
Yes.
women doing a road trip. And I think our country is, catching up with the times. And it's great to see, more women-centric storylines portraying more independent women. And I think that's such a positive sign for where we are.
Absolutely. And, this is what I was also coming to. Like you said, that, why is it extremely important for women to really plan at whatever stage they are? I was coming to this. How soon should women start planning for, being on that journey of financial freedom? And how do they do that? What are the first few steps that you need to get in order so that you are on the right track?
Absolutely. So, like I said, it's never too early, right? In India, specifically, money is a very taboo topic, right? When I was growing up, we never talked about money at home, right? It wasn't a topic that was brought up. It was treated as sensitive. And I know that's true as a culture. We don't do that. So I think it starts with just making it like normalizing these conversations about money as early as possible, right? So, as early as your teens, I know there are a lot of platforms that are focused on, much younger audience now in terms of educating them about money, in terms of just getting them to talk about money. And I think those are the first two steps. Like I said, it's never too early. Start, even when you just are getting some pocket money, right? Try your hand at investing. Try, have a community where you're, free to talk about this. And with vehicles such as SIPs and mutual funds, you can start with something as low as 100 or a 500 rupees a month. Get yourself comfortable, get your feet wet, get warmed up with it, and then slowly start working your way up as you grow, in your career and things like that. So the two things I would say is educate yourself. And unfortunately, I know this is a topic that's not taught in schools. Hopefully, that changes soon. Right? You'll be surprised to see. I mean, even women who are working in finance jobs still kind of, may struggle or find it a challenge to manage their own money. So one is educate yourself, and this is not a one-time exercise, right? It's not like, okay, I've studied a little bit about money, I know how it works, but it's a periodic thing. Like keep it like we do. We go to the gym or we take care of our, nutrition, things like that. Like financial health needs to be part of that routine. And the second thing is the community aspect, right? If we don't talk about money, and women specifically don't do this, I think the way we've been socialized and conditioned, we don't get together with our female friends and chat about the markets or chat about what we may be doing for retirement or what we're investing in. And I think those conversations really need to be normalized, and that to me are those to me are the first two steps in getting started, in getting warmed up towards the path of financial independence.
Absolutely, Hannah. Now, also, we all know that women began earning a long time ago. They are at the top jobs today in every field that we can think of. They're breaking the glass ceilings. But why is it that financial planning and investing is still dominated by men? Is something that I'm wondering even now. And why is it that we see whenever it is about decision about making, buying a house or taking a car, investing in equities, like you also pointed out, still all the decisions in the homes are actually made by the men of the house?
Yeah, so that is changing, right, as we speak. But if we just look at things historically, right, men have been historically the owners of wealth, right? Gender roles have existed forever, right? And this isn't restricted to just money. If you look at, how roles are split up in households, there are very specific, or I should say, there were very specific roles that men and women did. And I think a lot of that is changing now, right? Like to your point, as women are earning more, as they're pursuing their careers, ambitions, exploring new opportunities, starting more businesses, things like that, those roles are getting blurred, right? And what's also happened is financial services as an industry, and this is globally, right, not just in India, has defaulted to men just because of what you just talked about, where men would take the decisions. Men were seen as the investors and the people who were buying insurance for their family, or taking on loans for their family, or whatever it is. But as we're speaking, that's changing, and that's actually why we decided to create a platform like Basis because we're building for the future. We're building a platform that will continue to stay relevant as more money comes in the hands of women, as they're taking more independent decisions. Women are also choosing to stay single for longer now, right? The average age a woman is getting married has increased. She's choosing to live away from home, and really pursue her dreams and ambitions, and requires the right financial services, financial tools, financial planning, advisory, etc., to help her fulfill various goals.
Right, Hannah, and just like how you pointed out that you launched Basis for as a future platform for women, I want to understand, when you launched this, it was at a time when the world was hit by an unprecedented pandemic, which has been on in the last 1.5 years, where we have also seen numerous reports of how women specifically have been affected more with perhaps job losses, more salary cuts. Help us understand how your platform is really helping women at this point in time take charge of their finances, take better investing decisions, saving decisions. And what has been your experience in the last 1.5 years of dealing with the kind of problems that women are facing financially?
Absolutely. I think in a lot of ways, the pandemic has been a wake up call for all of us, right? While yeah, it's been awful witnessing what's happening in India and across the world. The silver lining has been that being on top of finances is no longer optional or something that's nice to do when you have spare time, etc. Right? So we've seen that there's a lot more conscious effort on being on top of this, right? Making sure you have an emergency fund in place, which typically, we recommend having at least 3 to 6 months worth of your fixed expenses
Okay.
available in case of dire circumstance like a job loss, etc. Right? Staying on top of insurances, health, life insurance, again, no longer something you'll just do later, or you keep procrastinating on things like that. So I think that's been the silver lining, and we've seen there be a lot more. Money is more top of mind. Saving, planning for financial goals, planning for a rainy day, making sure you have adequate protection with the right insurance plans, etc. So I think that's been great. Obviously, to your point, women have been greatly affected in our community. We see a lot more chat on things we never thought we'd be talking about. We've had women who said they've lost a spouse and have 2 kids. What are things they should be having in place for their kids' futures? Right? Someone mentioned that she wants to understand how wills and nominations work, because again, that's not something we talk about with parents or partners or whoever it may be. But now those sort of situations have
Bad
become.
omen, that's why, like in India, we always
Exactly.
think.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. But those, I mean, again, we need to have those conversations, because otherwise it may get too late. So that's actually been, I think of it as very positive sign where, these things are coming, that are becoming more top of mind, whether it's planning for, like I said, a rainy day, planning for a dire situation where a key earning member of the family, something happens to them. And so we've seen a lot more conversation and consciousness around those topics. Hopefully, the situation does rectify itself soon, and but we're glad to see a lot more focus on making sure protection, planning for emergencies, things like that. People are planning for that, especially women, right? You hear stories of, I mean, women don't even tend to know, like, oh, my husband may have had this life insurance policy. I had no idea, right? Like those sort of things. So even if it's just getting more involved in household financial decisions or conversations, I think that's been great, and we've loved to see some of those conversations become more mainstream now as we speak.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, for all the women users of your platform, for investors who are looking to take your help in financial planning, what do you tell them is the best way to go about investing? Which are the asset classes that you think that every woman must invest in to get great returns, the right mix, and the right way to plan their investments as well?
Right. So, I mean, with investing, there isn't a one size fits all, right? So, typically, even when folks come onto our platform and are like, "Oh, what's the best mutual fund to put my money into now?" Where we say, if anyone tells you there's a best mutual fund, run in the opposite direction, right? So, investing, I mean, there's so many factors that play into even advising someone on how much they should allocate to what asset class. It depends on their risk profile, it depends on their dependents, how much debt they have, what age stage they are in life. So we make sure we're, I think, educating folks on this is step one, right? Like, don't blindly follow advice. Don't blindly follow stock tips. If your colleague at work is investing in mutual fund X, and you think that's again the best kind of investment to put your money into, I mean, that's the worst way of thinking about investing, right? And so that's one thing we tell all the members on our platform. And so don't follow the herd. Understand your personal situation. Think deeply about your risk appetite, things like that, and think long term. I think the great thing about women also as investors is we're just more natural long term thinkers, right? And that plays a key role in investing as well. In fact, there's studies been done globally that have analyzed portfolios of men versus women, and women have consistently outperformed men in that, right? So it's something we're naturally good at. It's sort of inherent in how we approach life, and so I think we should put those skills to use and have that long term perspective as well. And so these are things we encourage within our community and how we guide women on basis.
Absolutely. Well, wonderful to know that things are changing. Women are becoming more financially aware. They're risk aware, they're risk conscious, and they know where they're putting in their money. So, all of this is definitely a welcome change. But, last word from you, one learning that may inspire more first time women investors to, after listening to you, really go ahead and take that journey toward financial independence. What would you say to them?
I would just say two words, right? Take charge. 9 out of 10 of us will have to manage our own money at some point in our lives, right? So it's never too early. Take the plunge. It's not hard. It's not complex. You can get on basis. We start from the very beginning. Money is not daunting. All the fears and the inhibitions you may have will go away. But yes, take charge, take control. And like I said, you can't truly be independent without being financially independent.
Well, absolutely. Thank you very much on that note, Hena, for speaking with us and sharing these wonderful insights. I'm sure this is going to inspire many, many women who are listening to you at this point in time. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you, Sakshi.
All right, and with that, we wrap up this edition of Kaise Bachai, Kaise Badhai. It is the Independence Day special edition, and hope you got to learn so many more things about becoming financially independent on this edition. We'll keep getting you more interesting conversations just like this, so stay tuned with us on Money 9.